Human trafficking is a transportation or coercion of people in order to benefit from their work or service, typically in the form of forced labor or sexual exploitation. These victims are often poor and looking for a better life, and they are deceived and manipulated into trusting criminals who lie and take them into captivity. The International Labor Organization estimates that there are about 40.3 million victims currently in trafficking around the globe. There is no specifically targeted group of victims for human trafficking, as it can happen to anybody anywhere. This makes it extremely difficult to identify and recognize in public situations. However, there are some signs to look for.
Victims of human trafficking will look shy in public and avoid eye contact with other individuals. Also, they will be accompanied by a dominant person beside them who seems to be watching their every move and controlling them. Victims will often possess visible signs of abuse such as bruisings, burn marks, and cuts. Although we may not be aware of it, instances of human trafficking happen in our local areas. It falls upon us as a public to recognize the signs and report any suspicious behavior. We need to gain an awareness of this issue in our daily lives.
This is a very prevalent issue that our society faces, as it affects the youth and the old in great numbers. To put this amount of victims into perspective, imagine how many young people you see walking down the street. 1 out of every 5 of those youthful people has been a victim of trafficking at some point. Think about your parents and grandparents. Statistically, at least one of them has been a victim of this issue at some point in their life. The way to combat this issue is through breaking the silence and spreading awareness of it. So you must stay aware in public places and look for the signs previously mentioned. Do not be afraid to speak up about or take a suspicion to a local authority. Say something if you see something. Human trafficking thrives on secrecy and exploitation, so we must openly and actively discuss and seek out this issue to bring an end. Additionally, pressure local governments to pass laws to combat trafficking and clearly define punishments for such a crime, and educate yourself on what steps candidates will take to combat this issue when voting season comes about in November. Human trafficking is too big of an issue to combat alone. Bring your community together to make a change.